Do you like jigsaw puzzles? I hate them. Seems like I can never make the pieces get together. My wife doesn't like them either. In fact, her mother bought her this really cool t-shirt. It said, "I don't mean to brag, but I just put a puzzle together in one day." And the box said 2 to 4 years. Well, negotiation is like fitting a puzzle together. Each person holds pieces of the solution. It's not about forcing your piece to fit. It's about figuring out how all the pieces come together. Productive leaders are good negotiators. In leadership, negotiation isn't so much about using power to force the piece into place. It's about creating a bigger, better picture. So let's help our kids see how their piece fits into the whole. Research shows that over 85% of employees and leaders believe that soft skills are essential for success in life. And yet, unfortunately, most schools don't specifically emphasize these. So how do they learn them? They have to begin at home. So in this session, we're going to talk about preparing our kids to succeed by helping them put the pieces together, by teaching them negotiation skills. I think you're going to like it.
Welcome to another edition of Kid Lead Academy Training Series with Dr. Alan E. Nelson, designed to help parents develop their children to lead so they can succeed. And now, here's Alan.
The word negotiation is interesting. It's derived from 2 Latin words. The prefix neg, from negare, means to deny. And then otium, the root means leisure or ease. So literally, it's to resolve differences when there is tension. It's about reaching agreements through discussion. As the great diplomat Henry Kissinger once said, competing pressures tempt one to believe that an issue deferred is a problem avoided. More often, it is a crisis invited. So teaching kids negotiation helps them tackle problems early and confidently. We experience tense situations every day raising our kids, don't we? For example, 2 kids are wanting the same toy, or not wanting to do a chore like taking out the trash, or we try to get our child to go to bed on time. Another example is that one child wants to go to the amusement park and another prefers the zoo, or we'd like to do something else less costly. So here's a negotiation opportunity. Facilitate a discussion where each member states their preferences and reasons. The family may agree to alternate destinations for future outings or choose an option that blends elements to everyone's suggestions. The skill set is active listening, creative thinking, and finding win-win solutions. So the first question we want to answer is why? Why should we teach our kids negotiation skills if we're striving to develop their leadership potential? The reason is that leaders who can negotiate well are better problem solvers, relationship builders, and decision makers. They balance their needs with the needs of others to create solutions everyone can support. So much of organizational life and relationships in general involve a tug of war, people trying to influence each other. When your child learns negotiation, they're also developing emotional intelligence, active listening, and critical thinking, all of which are leadership superpowers. Obviously, there come times when you need to pull your parent trump card and shut down negotiations. That's a fact of life. But frequently, we can turn everyday interactions between siblings, parent and child, and friends as opportunities to learn how to give and take. And here's the kicker. Kids already negotiate with us all the time. Whether it's bedtime extensions or dessert debates, they're testing strategies without even realizing. So let's channel that energy into a positive skill that will serve them for life. Here are 3 practical, fun ways to teach negotiation skills at home. Number 1, the what's in it for both of us game. When your child wants something, like perhaps more screen time, turn it into a teachable moment. Ask them, what's your offer and how does it benefit both of us? For example, if I get 15 more minutes of screen time, I'll clean up after dinner without being asked. This teaches them to think beyond their own wants and consider others' perspectives, a critical skill for leaders negotiating team dynamics. Here's another one, number 2, the trade-off challenge. Create a simple scenario where they must negotiate trade-offs. For instance, planning a family outing. You suggest a park. They suggest an amusement park. Negotiate to find common ground, like splitting time or choosing alternate weekends. This teaches compromise and prioritization, essential for navigating real-world leadership dilemmas. A third idea is the role reversal experiment. Have your child play the role of boss or parent while you act as the one making requests. For example, they might decide bedtime rules and you negotiate for an extension by offering to read quietly for 20 minutes. This helps them understand the challenge of managing others' needs and preparing for counter arguments. And a fourth idea is debating for decisions. Encouraging debates over everyday choices, like what movies to watch or where to order takeout. Set rules such as each person presents their case, list pros and cons for both sides, and vote or negotiate a solution. This builds their confidence in articulating their thoughts, backing up arguments with logic, and listening to others, all traits of effective leaders. Why is this so important? Well, because leaders negotiate every day. They negotiate resources for their team. They mediate conflicts among employees. They balance stakeholders' interests. When kids learn negotiation early, they grow into adults who can build bridges instead of walls. Leaders who solve problems instead of escalating them. Now, before we wrap up, let me give you a look at a powerful lesson from Chris Voss's book, Never Split the Difference. Voss was a former FBI hostage negotiator, and he shares some incredible insights in his book with that title. So we're even going to talk about how we can use these with teaching our kids. Here are 2 key takeaways. Number 1, he talks about tactical empathy. Voss emphasizes the importance of making the other person feel heard and understood. So tactical empathy is about reflecting their feelings and thoughts so effectively that the other person says, "That's right. That's how I think. That's how I feel." So why does this matter? Because people want to feel understood before they're willing to hear your terms. It's not about agreeing with them, but showing them you genuinely understand their perspective. So at home, teach your child to listen actively and respond with statements like, "So what you're saying is blank," or "sounds like you feel blank." This builds trust and opens the door for productive negotiations. And then the second idea we want to take away from this book is ask for help. Another powerful tactic from Voss is reframing the negotiation as a shared problem. Instead of demanding or arguing, ask for help using phrases like, "Well, how am I supposed to do that?" Or, "Can you help me figure this out?" This invites collaboration and often makes the other person more willing to compromise. So, at home, when your child faces resistance, for example, asking for extra time to finish a project, encourage them to say, "Hey, I need your help. How can I balance this with my other responsibilities?" This teaches humility and teamwork while advocating for their needs. By teaching your kids these 2 strategies, helping others feel heard and reframing negotiations as collaborative, you're equipping them with tools to navigate not just family life, but leadership and the world beyond. As Chris Voss shows us, negotiation is more about connection than conflict. Let's help our kids master that connection. So let's turn those everyday debates into life-changing leadership lessons. Remember, every negotiation is a chance for your child to grow in confidence, empathy, and problem-solving skills that will serve them well as they lead others. So let me end with a couple of lame dad jokes, because after all, this series is primarily for parents. Why was the pencil such a good negotiator? Because it always made a good point. And why don't negotiators ever play hide and seek? Well, it's because good ones are impossible to find. Hey, thanks for joining me today. Now, go have some fun negotiating with your little leaders in training. We'll see you next time on Kid Lead Academy.